The RBA are monitoring arrears. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Let's check out this article from Mortgage Business discussing the RBA monitoring arrears as they try to lower inflation. For those of you playing at home, you can see the cash rate is at 4.1%. We're getting closer to that, historic band there, from about late or early 90s, mid 90s to 28, and then we just headed down. We're almost returning to normal. So, the RBA is monitoring arrears as the path to lower inflation, or on the path to lower inflation. Well, arrears are the path to lower inflation, isn't it? They're going to have to destroy the economy to fix the economy. We can all argue they probably did the damage, and now these are the repercussions of what they've done. The RBA Governor Philip Lowe has outlined the factors the board is considering on the path to lower inflation after another rate hike. On Wednesday, the Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe addressed the Morgan Stanley 5th Australia Summit and outlined the RBA must navigate a narrow path on the way back to the target of 2 to 3% inflation. The speech came a day after the RBA board made the decision to raise the official cash rate 25 points, taking it to 4.1% from 3.85%. The central bank flagged that further tightening may be needed. One of the considerations Mr. Lowe said the Reserve Bank will be looking at is the strength of household spending, with one of the indicators being monitored being mortgage arrears. These remain very low, although they have increased a little bit of late. Banks report that their customers are managing to make their mortgage repayments, although many have had to cut back on other spending. So it is a complicated picture, Mr. Lowe said. We're going to see a decline in retail and discretionary spending. We've looked at other examples, the Reddit example where everyone's saying cut this, work more, stick the kids in childcare, never see them. This is going to be the super high interest rates that previous generations had to experience for ours, isn't it? According to Mr. Lowe, real income in households have declined, and the required share of household disposable income for mortgage repayments will reach record levels later this year. Aussie, eh? Many households will transition from low fixed rate loans over the next few months and experience the increase in repayments that have been occurring for variable rate borrowers. Indeed, the latest data from credit rating agency S&P Global Ratings has indicated that mortgage arrears in Australia are slowly rising as borrowers face increasing financial challenges. They're still very low though. The rates are still very low. It's not a significant number. S&P Quarterly Market Overview of March 2023 revealed a rise in both prime and non-conforming mortgage arrears during the first quarter of the year, with prime mortgage arrears reaching 0.95% during the period, approaching the long-term average above 1%. So we're not even at the long-term average yet, guys. They're going up, but we're not at the average. Hey, like our interest rate. This was an increase from 0.76 in December 22 and 0.65 in November the same year. Non-conforming loans also experienced a rise in arrears, reaching 3.7% in March, up from 3.2% in December. A high rates working as intended. Mr. Lowe acknowledged that had the RBA not lifted interest rates as it had done, several households may have avoided financial pressures associated with higher mortgage rates or higher mortgage repayments in the short term. But this short-term gain would have been at a much higher medium-term cost if we had not tightened monetary policy. The cost of living would be higher for longer, Mr. Lowe added. This would hurt all Australians and the functioning of our economy and would ultimately require even higher interest rates to bring inflation back down. So as difficult as it is, the rise in interest rates is necessary to bring inflation back to target in a reasonable time frame. The RBA governor said higher rates are evidently working and that inflation is coming down despite the unexpected lift in April. The March quarter CPI confirmed that inflation peaked late last year at 7.8%. Subsequently to this, the monthly CPI indicator showed a pickup in the 12 months ending inflation rate in April to 6.8%. This was a higher outcome than expected, but it has not changed our assessment that inflation is trending lower. So rising house prices may necessitate further tightening. Why? We'll have to see. Following the 6 June monetary policy meeting, Mr. Lowe stated that some further tightening of monetary policy may be required in order to guarantee inflation targets inflation returns to the target in a reasonable time frame. The combination of higher interest rates and cost of living pressures is leading to a substantial slowing in household spending, he said. Housing prices are rising again, and some households have substantial savings buffers, although others are experiencing a painful squeeze on their finances. National home values have now increased 3 consecutive months, with CoreLogic reporting a 1.2% increase in May, preceded by a 0.5% rise in April and 0.6% in March. Yeah, demand is still there. Demand for housing is not going to disappear. It's just going to be who can take advantage of that. That's going to change. In his speech yesterday, Lowe stated, "We felt like we couldn't just sit idly and say, well, this is all accidental, it's all just noise. The conclusion we reached was that this represents upside risks to the inflation outlook in Australia. We've been prepared to be patient and get inflation back to target, but our patience has a limit, and the risks are starting to test the limits," the RBA governor said. I mean, let's have a talk about all of this, guys. I love it how people think we're in a completely free market, and we've got a central bank here controlling and managing this entire aspect of it. And it's all, I mean, sure, you've got the data, but it's economics. How much of it is psychology? This is a mess. This is going to be tough. There are going to be a lot of people doing it real hard. I don't know what to say. It's just frustrating. They're going to keep going. Rates are going to keep going up, guys. Oh, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Rates going up and property going. It's the Australian way. Anyway, check out Heise, a bit more Heise does for other content I create. If you're a fan and want to support us, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy a pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.